Cost and efficiency. Two of the crucial aspects of business which affects decision making, performance, and output of a business. In a modern world where inflation continues to rise up and supply chain disruptions are encountered more often, would you rather save cost or be efficient? Hi, my name is Mark Rodriguez,
Hi, my name is Piyush.
Hello, I'm Rafael Fortunato.
And hello everyone, I'm Alexandria Reyes.
and this is Vantage Point. 12 Strike, who has been reliant on offshoring production for a lower production cost, is experiencing challenges with delivery lead time. The delivery delays has affected sales and customer satisfaction. As a result, we visited the idea of reshoring. Taking into consideration the financial and non-financial factors while weighing down benefits and risk, we analyzed that it is within the best interest of 12 Strike to reshore production due to our ability to break even. Moreover, the learning curve from the process improvement shows that reshoring has the capability to make profit within the first 12 months. Implementing reshoring will improve lead times, reduce operation hours, reduce risk from policy uncertainties tied with globalized supply chain, and reduce costs in the longer term. The problem analysis started from identifying the main issue and breaking it down. The Ishikawa diagram shows the main contributors to the delayed lead time, and the recent events after COVID and the conflicts with trade agreements between countries has affected lead time of shipments across borders. To fully break down the current issue and propose a solution, we have considered financial and non-financial factors upon our decision making. Let's talk about the toolboxes we use for the non-financial consideration.
So we use two different toolboxes to analyze the non-financial considerations, specifically pestle analysis and Porter 5 forces. This is beneficial to us because it highlights risks and advantages that number alone can't show. Let me take through each factor. Pestle analysis, the political factor here. When we talk about the political factors, we mean tariffs, trade tensions, and changing policies that sudden increase cost and delay shipments. Reshoring reduces this risk because we operate under US regulations, so we are exposed to sudden international policy changes. Economic factor here, offshore wages, especially in countries like China, are increasingly rapidly due to the rising living standards. US wages grow slower and predictable. Reshoring stabilizes cost long term and avoids surprises from wage inflation overseas, making budgeting and planning more reliable. Technological factor here, in-house production allows us to better control quality, implement process improvements, and innovate faster. We can integrate automation, AI, and a lot of tools to improve efficiency without relying on external suppliers and overseas plants. Environment factor here, shipment products from overseas adds carbon emission and increase packaging waste. By reshoring, we shorten shipment distance, reduce environmental impact, and align with sustainability goals. Legal factor here, managing operation domestically simplifies with labor laws, safety standards, and trade regulations. This reduces legal risk and avoids the complexity of dealing with multiple international jurisdictions. So now I'm going to say about the Porter 5 forces factors. Competitive rivalry factor here is reshoring makes production faster and more reliable, faster lead times, consistent quality strength, competitive position because we can deliver better and rival still relying on overseas production. Threat to new player in the market, high capital investment and specialized equipment we make it harder to new companies to enter in the market, and this protects our market share while operating in-house. Supplier power here factor here. Overseas suppliers can delay shipments, raise prices, or be impacted by the political issues. Reshoring reduces dependence on them, give us more over timing and cost. Buyer power factor here. Customer now expect quick delivery and higher quality. In-house production allows us to meet expectation consistently, reducing the risk of losing buyer to competitors. Overall, using this case toolbox is beneficial to us because it shows reshoring strengths, operational control, reduce external risk, stabilize costs, support the local workforce, improve sustainability, and enhance the competitive position. By analyzing tariffs, wage growth, shipping delays, labor risk, customer expectation, and environment impact, we can complete picture that justifies reshoring is not only financial but strategically beneficial to the company.
The reshoring alternative gives us a clear cost advantage and a strong operating position long term. At the case volume of 4,763 units per month, that's 57,156 units per year, our offshore model shows an all-in landed cost of roughly $32.16 per unit. On the reshoring side, our American variable manufacturing cost, materials, packaging, and labor, comes to about $22.65 per unit before facility cost. The key decision metric is the facility cost threshold. Our analysis shows we can pay up to about $9.52 per unit in the American facility cost. Additionally, taking a closer look to the offshore costs it's easy to identify the landed cost add-ons that disappear when we produce domestically. Those are tariffs, which adds about $1.66 per unit in our model, inventory carrying costs due to the long pipeline that adds months of inventory exposure, which drives a meaningful unit per unit cost. Also, we had to account for losses, damage, and theft premium, which added about $1.04 per unit. There was also the international logistics costs that add about $2.06 per unit, plus operational complexity, and packaging, which is required for this kind of transportation, which is about 42% more expensive than the American cost. Reshoring not only offers better costs, but also simplifies the model. The facility costs makes the recommendation decision ready. 12 Strike must frame this as a negotiation and execution target. Reshoring is cost efficient if facility costs less than $45,000. Any number below it unlocks meaningful savings. It translates the decision into a controllable variable. Now, analyzing the projected wage increase, we notice that the offshore labor advantage continues to shrink over time, making production more expensive if 12 Strike opts to keep its factory in China. The 11% increase projected for Chinese workers will widen the margin in favor of American plant, where the increase will be only 3%. On top of that, the company has a productivity plan. In 1 year, we can produce the same volume with 800 fewer labor hours per year. The graph shows the improvements using a learning curve rate of 98%. That directly reduces labor cost per unit and improves the US cost position. Continuing the improvement analysis and incorporating wage growth over time, we find that raising wages do not offset the saving generated by process improvements at the reshoring plant. So, the long-term story is reshoring is not only competitive today under the facility threshold, it becomes more attractive as offshore wages rise faster and as we execute process improvements domestically. That's why we're confident reshoring is the strongest strategic option. Lower landed cost risk, a more controllable cost structure, and improving economics over time.
With both financial and non-financial considerations established, reshoring identified as the preferred option, the focus now shifts to how 12 Strike can move forward strategically. Our analysis shows that reshoring operations back in-house is the most strategic option, balancing benefits with manageable risks. Key benefits include faster lead times, ensuring a more predictable delivery to customers, greater control over production quality, improved brand image due to domestic manufacturing, and increased job opportunities for the community. Meanwhile, primary risks are internal, wherein workforce management will need careful planning during the transition, and initial inefficiencies may occur as employees adjust to new responsibilities. Overall, 12 Strike demonstrates a clear preference for risks it can monitor and control internally rather than unpredictable internal disruptions, and making reshoring the most suitable strategy. Now, moving on to the next slide. With reshoring selected as the strategic direction, the next step is defining how this transition can be executed efficiently and sustainably. To support successful reshoring, AI and data driven tools will be integrated to improve production scheduling and overall process efficiency. Lean manufacturing principles will also be applied to maximize productivity and reduce waste. Automation strengthens logistics, supports just in time delivery, and minimizes disruptions, while AI driven demand forecasting helps optimize inventory levels. Together, these capabilities provide a competitive advantage and support efficient rebuilding of domestic manufacturing operations. That being said, the timeline for transitioning to reshoring is structured in three phases. For short term, 0 to 12 months, we hire and train the workforce and partially transition production from China and implement lean practices. By the midterm, or 13 to 24 months, we expect the handover of operations to the US to be completed successfully, all while continuously monitoring costs, productivity, and labor efficiency. For the long term, which is 25 plus months, our goal is to reassess reshoring strategies made thus far, consider nearshoring options, and adjust plans based on the market and geopolitical conditions by that time. With that said, as presented in the next slide, to ensure these solutions deliver measurable results, performance will be tracked through six key performance indicators. Throughput, which measures total plant output to assess capacity improvements, asset turnover, which monitors cost efficiency per unit and overall, takt time, which ensures products meet client deadlines and improving lead times, labor utilization, which evaluates workforce efficiency and training effectiveness, inventory accuracy, which confirms alignment of stock levels with forecasts, and delivery reliability, which tracks on time delivery to maintain customer satisfaction. Monitoring these KPIs allow 12 Strike to quantify improvements in cost control, operational reliability, and workforce performance, all while reducing dependence on their overseas shipments. Now, to sum up our team's analysis and data, our conclusion is that reshoring creates a more resilient, controllable, and efficient operation for 12 Strike. By investing in skilled in house labor, the company reduces reliance on volatile offshore factors and stabilizes their costs. It also allows the firm to invest in domestic research and development and minimize outsourcing risks. Now, while offshoring can offer short term benefits, geopolitical and supply chain uncertainties limit its long term sustainability, which is why reshoring, supported by AI, lean principles, and careful KPI monitoring, positions 12 Strike for reliable production and long term competitiveness. The recommendation is clear. 12 Strike should proceed with reshoring as a strategic long term investment. Choosing between cost saving and efficiency, we choose to be efficient. That would be all from our team at Vantage Point. Thank you for listening, and here are your references.